They ask for slow jams, followed with some slow dance. A bit of grooving with a bit of romance. Pretty lady in the spot. They ask for slow jams, lady so followed by some slow dance. You are my prize in this day. I'm looking at a while. A bit of grooving with a bit of romance. Pretty lady in the spot. They ask for slow jams, lady so followed by some slow dance. You are my prize in this day. I'm looking at a while. A bit of smooth and my words are tight. I say, pretty lady in the spot. They ask for slow jams, lady so followed by some slow dance. You are my prize in this day. I'm looking at a while. A bit of grooving with a bit of romance. They ask for slow jams, lady so followed by some slow dance. You are my prize in this day. I'm looking at a while. A bit of grooving with a bit of romance.
I started in rugby, and then at the age of 17, left high school, and Michael Jones and Inga Tungimala started a village sports academy out west, and I guess that for me was an opportunity to try a new sport after rugby had given me too many injuries. I played rugby, I dislocated my shoulder. I had 2 stress fractures in my tailbone, which led to probably 5 years recovery and rehab work. And then, so when the VSA started, that's where I first met the Tungimala boys, Jordan and Vaisea, or Baba. And that's where the journey started. I gave boxing a go at the boxing gym in New Lynn, Plantation Boxing. And I guess I fell in love with the grit and the hard work and doing it solo. After team sports, it's been hard to, I got trust issues with team sports. So I fell in love with boxing then, and it's I guess I've had a lot of ups and downs in the sport. It's now been, I guess, from being 17 trying out boxing to now being 33, heading to 34. It's the passion and the love for the game is still as strong. So and that's how I started and got into boxing.
Nice. You went over to Australia and started doing some stuff over there. Is that true?
2019, 2018, I went over. I was in security at the time, so I've just finished doing over 10 years in security. But part of the journey when I went over to Oz was to do a new job and start I guess, enhance my security career over there. While doing that, I'd also got connections with some of the boys who lived here, and they were like, "Oh, you're a boxer." So they started taking me to gyms and trainings, and then eventually I had joined the Australian amateur scene over there in Northern Territory. And then I guess I started working my way up again in Oz. Again, I fought over there. I dislocated my other shoulder twice in 2 fights in 1 year. They had to... those were good learning injuries, I guess, for myself. To see my willpower, how if I had the determination to fight through. The first fight, shoulder dislocation, I managed to finish him with one arm. Then the next fight, I got offered to fight for a state title, and then it was my first 5-rounder, and I signed a contract to agree to a weight, and I had put on weight, so I had jumped up to 162. I had 9 weeks to get ready for this opportunity for a state title. So I dropped from 162 down to 135. I weighed in for that fight. I knew the opportunity was worth it, but having no sparring partners and no one to help me but my water bag was the and then some of the usos to I just like when I'm on the water bag just throw a random haymaker just get used to I guess reaction. And so I keep working the heavy bag and there's a random slap or hit. And I went into the fight fully prepared as best as I could on my own. And I guess round 2 I dislocated the shoulder again, but I fought on to round 5 and then the ref was like, no, we're going to have to call it because you're not protecting yourself. I was like, I only have one arm, but yeah, thank you. But also again, like learning through those injuries have been a blessing of the sport, it's just what comes with it. And so that was my experience over in Oz. I had a few
How many
times.
fights did you have?
3. Yeah, I managed to have, had 3 fights. 3 fights within the 7 years I was there.
Nice. Was it boxing or was it?
Yeah, just straight boxing. Yeah. But there's a lot of good talent. I mean, a lot of good people. A lot of the local indigenous champs as well, who are now older, but they've been, I guess, also helpful as well. So no matter where I go, I guess boxing's always going to find a way for me to stay connected to it. Yeah. Also coming back, so
yeah. And now you're back. You're kind of with Peach Boxing. When you came back, you didn't go straight to Peach Boxing, eh?
No, I came back. So I returned back to NZ last year, March, and I was still, I guess, I'm in an iron about if I'm going to carry on or, especially with the shoulders, especially my family, there were a lot of concern because they're like, you're getting injured in rugby. Now you're getting a bit more injured in boxing. So I had to really, I guess, have a good hard think about it if it's going to be worth my time and effort, especially having a co-parent son. But I guess he was my why and the drive. I was like, he can watch me in person now instead of through a phone or online. So yeah, I decided, okay, I'll hit up one of the officers, Louis, if I can come to his open sparring out south, and I guess from there I hit the ground running. I was like, oh yeah, New Zealand boxing is still greater than Australian boxing, especially the amateur scene. So it was good for me to just feel that getting knocked around again from good young'uns that are aspiring to be like top athlete and boxers. So once I got hit a few times, and then I was like, can I keep coming back? And then just started from there. And then, but also being back, I had to try and find work. So that took a while, and then eventually I was accepted at Peach Boxing to come through, and then once I got in, I guess being in Oz, the anxiety and all that had hit me. So I think I arrived to training an hour and a half early, and there was no one there. So I was like, man, I'm nervous. This, it feels like I'm in school again. But then from that first class, just fell in love with boxing again. The passion, the drive had come back, and meeting new people that are also on the same goal, same journey has been, I guess, for me, very like a blessing in disguise, because I've been back and forth, Australia, New Zealand, and you always meet people that tell you their stories and how they've stopped this and that. But boxing has always been, I guess, it always has a place in my heart because it's given me the tools of what I live through today as well. So yeah, Peach has really helped me to just, I guess, my safe space. That's what it's been for. Like for me, Peach has been my safe space for boxing.
Yeah. A lot of strong fighters out there too, to lead, by the way.
Yeah,
Can
got a
you
lot of
pull the
hidings.
mic closer to you? Yeah.
A lot of hidings from those guys.
Yeah. When you talk about your why, with all the injuries and all that, how much longer do you think you can carry on?
Yeah, I've set myself a goal is to carry on till I'm 40. I think that's when amateurs, no more. They're 40. So whether within this time from now till then, if I eventually step foot into being a professional boxer, that's still a long-term goal.
Yeah.
If I get there, or if I don't, it's not going to kill me. I guess I've done my time and shared a lot of stuff through my boxing and fight journey. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Let's talk about your last fight, Ezra. I think was one of the boys that you fought on one of our fight cards.
Yep.
You know, to be honest, like when me and Lige knows Ezra. Him and Lige, they done Warriors together. They done counties together.
Yep.
And I think before Ezra went to holiday, wink wink. Yeah. He came back. Now, like I said, we've known him for a while, but we didn't know he could fight like that. You know what I mean? So, how did you feel? Because he's going to be one of the guys when you go back to Samoa.
Yeah.
That you might rematch again.
Yeah. How did I?
How do you feel? Do you feel you figured out some things there with him now that you could?
Yeah. There was for me there's a lot of things I found after the fight. I was like, man, I held back because I was trying to, I guess, compose and keep my fitness to last, and that's changed now. I've been trying to work, put in more, I guess, output, the work ethic and output in from the get-go. I knew in round 1 I started strong with Ezra. Round 2 was and then round 3 I was just trying to work on the countering, but I guess I let it get to my head too much the time, and now I'm just training, have no concern of the time, and just continue to do the best of my ability, that which I knew I had, but I didn't perform. A lot of the guys know I tried to talk myself down. I was like, no, it's part of the fight game. It's a learning curve, and it's an hour in the learning way, not a loss. So yeah.
I go back to your fight before that. I think it was, or maybe no, it was after your fight with Sifel.
Yeah.
What do you think your mistake was in there?
My mistake there was doing a full shift and going to fight night. Not many people know, but for me, being a father is always going to be number one. Have to provide, have to have a roof over our heads, food on the table, and I do this purely on a passion. I love my son, so I had to show him that it wasn't easy. I said, "Oh, Dad's not hurt. Yeah. Dad still loves the game. Dad still loves the sport.
Yeah.
That's what makes him, I guess, strong."
I think when I saw you, when I watched that fight, it was one of the things that I went, great heart. Yeah, great heart. So, and like when we had our talk, and I said to you, the understanding between me and you was, you go to Samoa, it had nothing to do with wins. It had everything to do with get to your goal weight, and we're going to Samoa, If we could offer anything to anyone that helps them see themselves in a better light, or gives them a proud moment to share with their families, something, like they can change, they can stay on they can remember for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Well, then we'd love to do it, So, yeah, we're not too much, we don't fancy the they're gifted too much, you know. they yeah. To be honest, they're a nuisance. And we've been coaching for over, I don't know, 30 years. Well over 30 years we've been coaching. And, you know, we were both fighters. So, you know, we kind of, you know, but we didn't just coach, you know, not just this coach, netball, you know, indoor and outdoor. Athletics. And we took titles.
League.
Yeah, league. Took titles. Like, you know, like we've had a lot of experience in terms of, you know, coaching. And plus, you know, because we were a part of the pastoral team in our church, it just made it a lot more easier in terms of understanding what our ministry was supposed to be, you know. So, you know, we gladly took on people that we knew. We gladly took on people that nobody else wanted, you know. And I'm not saying that you fellas are rejected, not at all. But to be able to have the privilege of saying, let's go, you know, let's go to Samoa, reach your goal, let's go, see what you can do, you know. You might surprise yourself, you might surprise everybody else, but as long as you have the opportunity to try.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the main things. I think I was probably a little bit like I didn't see myself in that light. I actually made a New Zealand team when I was in my early 30s, and that's because sometimes you need the right people to support you and support your journey. And that's, you know, becomes a real important part when you've got the right support, you've got the right team there. Especially, I think one of the things around boxing that we've seen is when you've got a family, that becomes more important because you start turning up for each other. Rather than, even though everyone says boxing's a lonely sport, which it can be, when you've got a boxing family, that's what helps elevate each other. And they all feed off each other, and even the wins and the losses, like you said, they'll get back in there and encourage each other to keep pushing for the goals that they want.
Because that was probably one thing that we noticed as well when we first made kind of the club. Before everyone else jumped on, we had T, Wanye and Sefo. Like when we first went to Samoa, we were that kind of tightly knit. Like we trained together. Even when we stayed together, we were playing games, we were talking, we were eating together, training over at the Tosua trenches. Like we done everything together as a team, both with our wins and our losses. We took it as a team. Our losses were our learnings. Our wins, we shared, and it just made us. It just made us closer together as a team. But then,
Marcel, how when you first came into the club to where you're at now? Is that how you would be? What would you say about your experience?
Joining boxing, it was good.
No, sorry.
What? What? No, it was good because I met a lot of new people, and they encouraged me to try something new.
Well, now that we're on you know, we kind of had a bit of a game plan to change your style a little. How did you find your new style?
It was so hard because that was the first time I composed myself for so long. Like 3 rounds of not gassing myself out. Like it was a good thing and a bad thing because I felt like every time I composed myself, I didn't know how to give power when I was so used to giving it.
but your power lasted for a lot more longer. Yeah, for the whole 3 rounds. It was quite deadly. It was really good to watch. You know. Yeah. So we I think you're up on the 17th.
Excited.
Yeah. So let's see how that goes. My guy had his debut. Into corporate.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
It was everything that this one warned me about. Yeah. Just the whole atmosphere and the pressure of like being in front of everyone. Yeah, I went in there trying to psych myself. Like, yeah, I was trying to convince myself that I wasn't nervous, that I wasn't like there was no nerves I should have, and just go in there. But with that, I think
that's probably one of the biggest mistakes.
Went in
you want to
confident.
embrace that,
Yeah,
like that nervousness. I'm not sure if I call it the nervousness, but it's kind of embrace it, you know, rather than push it away. Embrace
Like
it.
just feel your feelings.
Soak in that atmosphere, enjoy it, you know.
But sometimes it becomes two battles.
yeah,
Two battles,
Because their nervousness ends up becoming kind of like your urgency in the ring.
Yeah.
It makes you so aware. You go, oh yeah, I don't want to get touched. Oh, there it is. Like,
Yeah. And then the same there too, you know. It's all going to be dependent upon your warm up, you know. You want to get rid of that excess energy, so we're not hyperactive in there in the first minute.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
Yeah. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I just went in, tried to match his energy when it went off, and then we went out. I just went away from our game plan, from trying to last the whole, just trying to keep him away with my jab and just save my energy, let him gas out. But in that first round, all of that went out. I just seen him coming at me, so I started going at him, and then after first round, I was all gas, just 2 and 3, just trying to survive. Yeah. And then, the experience, yeah, it was like I took, after the fight was a bad hit, but I've been in those moments before, so I know how to bounce back.
Yeah,
That's good.
it's the fight game. The first loss is always the hardest. Yeah. But no, I thought you done well. Like I said, could have went either way. I had you winning. It, to be honest, just on the work ethic alone. But I think they went for sharpness. You know, and you know, just his experience. You know, even though that's only his second corporate fight, I feel like he's been. In fact, I think Missy said that guy's been training for a very long time. You know, so. But he was good. Regardless how long he's been training for, you were still good for it. You know,
especially like for his first fight.
Yeah. You know, you were still good for it, and you still matched him. So you know, as we work on the skills a little bit more, you know, you'll develop your your confidence, and you know, it was awesome. I thought you were awesome.
Monty, what was your first fight like? Tell us.
Damn, that's a good bet. My first fight was, I guess, at the time he was probably going toe to toe with Joseph Parker from Papatoy Boxing. But he said,
Oh wait, so it's a while back.
Yeah, so I know they were ranked in the amateur scene. His name's, I don't know his last name, but his name was Dempsey. Years later, we ended up training together. But yeah, my first fight was against him. I think I found out afterwards that he had 7 fights, and it was my first fight. So I guess the good thing for them not telling me is that I was a little bit more, I guess, composed. If I had known he had 7 fights, I probably would have done. But like any first fight or second or third fight, it's gonna be the same feelings over and over again. Each time you just get better at I guess understanding the feeling, embracing more of the nerves and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first fight was I lost, but I from that moment I noticed I have no power. But I was able to last the 3 rounds, and you know the good thing about that, he came into our locker room afterwards and he was like, bro, keep going. You know, you did mean. You landed shots on me that, you know, others haven't been able to do in a fight with him. But yeah, my first fight, and he was tall as well. So, and then that just kept going. Everyone just kept being 6'4", 7 foot. And I was like, man, this is how it's gonna be like this forever. But yeah, no, that first fight was
was it here or Australia?
It was here. Yeah, ABA was a day event. Yeah, no, it was a good experience. That's where I learned a lot from that, and just the feedback from the first fight. Even though it was a loss, it still benefited me till this day.
Yeah.
So you never really forget it. You embrace the hours from that and carry on going forward.
I see. My guy here on the left, like he was up against his nemesis, you know, on the weekend. We kind of changed his style, so you know, like don't get me wrong, he's got a good style, and nationally and locally, it seems to be decent to come forward and just put on work, you know, and a whole lot of pressure. And I do like it, but I kind of wanted to change his style, and you know, it was hard for him to adjust, but we kind of wanted him to box more, use his fitness. So it was like, bro, you got fitness, why aren't we using it? You got footwork, why aren't we using it? You know, you got range, why don't we just stay outside and use it a little bit more? You know, so, and or you know, like it wasn't something he was able to kind of adjust to. But I was just, you know, I said to him, just stick with it. We have to, because I'm not thinking about nationals, I'm thinking about international.
Yeah.
And your style will bring you up short internationally. And you know, I want you to kind of be that person, like the way that he was when he went to Pacific Games. Like, you know, he had footwork, he stayed on the outside, you know, and it done well for him. So, you know, to me, I wanted more of that. I kind of don't want him to cater or to entertain people with his brains getting bashed out, trying to bash the brains of somebody else out. You know what I mean? I want some skill in there, you know. And so, you know, it's a learning curve for him, because he has to, you know, he doesn't want to do it. But to me, it's like, I'm the coach. You know, like I just, you know, he's also got a head. So I'm also looking out for our grandchildren too, you know, at some stage. You know, I want him to be able to communicate with them too, you know. So I think Andre Ward, I was watching a thing on him, and he said a bad day for him, or maybe even Terence Crawford or Shakur, a bad day for them is, you know, they got tired. You know, they still get paid, they still win, but a bad day for them is they might have got hit, you know, a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know, with their style. And then he said, a bad day for a lot of people who are brawlers is they got knocked out. Some of them died. Some of them went to hospital, couldn't make the comeback. Some of them tore their retinas.
Yeah.
And for me, as a coach, I don't want a bad day for him like that. I want a bad day if he loses. He still gets to keep his eyes, keep his brains, you know, and still get to keep his health. And, you know, to me, fight smart, longevity in the sport. You know, fight crazy, fight tough, problems, you know. So, you know, and I know, you know, a lot of people didn't like his style, a lot of people are complaining about his style, but I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know,
Just with you getting older, so you said you started boxing when you were younger.
Yeah.
Tell us about the style you have then, and you know how you were thinking compared to now that you're experienced years later. What's your advice to others that when they first start boxing and when they start going up in the ranks, what would your advice be for them?
For them would be more technical. I guess over the years, after being like a sparring partner to so many up and comers and professionals, what I've learned is, you know, you can never have too tight of a guard, or it can never be too high, it can never be too low. But if you like drills on drills on drills on, I say this, but do I do it? No. But you know, you always have those habits that you fall back into, and you don't realize. And I know for me, in the last fight against Joe, was that I had put myself at risk because I chose to be a dad. Do I regret it? Maybe, but do I regret doing it for my son? No, because I still have to provide, but I still want to do my hobby. And sometimes you really got to think like, is it going to be worth it in the long run? Which I didn't do at the time. But as it's, you know, a couple of weeks later now, you know, mentally I'm in a better spot to be able to analyze that and be like, okay, you know, go to the boss and tell him, can I use my leave day? Can I annual leave now? And be a bit more, you know, prepared in that way for. So, yeah, over the years it's been, I guess, you know, you have your highs and your lows, but that will be always the one thing is the drill technique, whether it's punching and using punching as defense, or using your, you know, for defense to be better. Yeah, punching, but then also to be better at punching is having good defense. So it's, I think Alex Saw told me once is, you know, your attack is your defense. Your defense is your attack. And I was young, I was looking at him, I was like, I don't understand that. But, you know, as you get older, that's where I will take it back to, is that technique does matter. Whether it's your guard, whatever guard you have or stance, you know, technique is always going to be top. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, what's life looking like for you after the fight game? Transitioning into coaching your boy?
He doesn't want to fight. And I don't blame him. He's probably seen, this year is actually the first time he's been to a few events, just to, I guess, get a feel for it and understand the atmosphere.
Was he there when you lost against Joe?
No, thankfully, because he was going to, but still I showed him the footage and he got a bit upset. I was like, it's okay, that's all right. I'm still here. I'm still training. It's it was just one of those days where Dad made the mistake himself, but I'm fine. And he was like, but you train hard. I was like, everyone trains hard, but it's who gets them first. So I had to teach him a little bit of that. But I do think I'll transition into coaching. Everyone said that, but the problem with me is when I start giving, I forget about me, and then the weight jumps on, and then I'm back to square one, doing a weight loss journey again, and then trying to get myself in the right spot before I make new friends in the game, and then want to give them a lending hand and help, and then I forget about me, and then the weight jumps back on again. So I think now in this weight loss journey, this is like number 20.
But it's still ongoing, and it's great to hear that, because like you said, sometimes you're always giving out, but you also got to remember to care for yourself. You can't care if you don't care for yourself. You can't care for others.
I learned that, now being back and just being a father. I'm still learning to be a great dad, still learning to be a good person, still learning to be still learning boxing. So you never stop learning, no matter what you're doing. So yeah.
Awesome.
What about you, King? How was the weekend for you?
Was a learning experience. Fight didn't go as planned. Right gameplay, wrong execution. A lot of things for me to work on.
It takes time, though. It's a process.
Yeah, it is a process. But there are things that can kind of help speed it up. Like me kind of doing things like, I'm doing things at home, but also doing things repetitively rather than just doing it at training, or just get up, go through my kind of normal routine. Just doing things outside of it, because I think you've always said to us, it's not so much the training that people see. It's always the stuff that makes you great is the stuff that people don't see. So always the stuff behind the scenes. What are you doing at home? What are you doing, say, when you get up before you go to work? Are you drilling? Say, are you going for your runs? If you're lacking in the fitness, are you going for your runs before you go to work? Have a quick shower and stuff like that. Say, get back home, have a bit of a feed or have a bit of a rest, then I don't know, do some drilling.
I think it's just that time management, eh?
Yeah.
Find that more consistent time management in your day so that you can do the little extra stuff that you need to do.
Because there was one of the guys I was actually talking to, which I was telling you about. We hadn't seen him since he left Peach, the young fella.
Yeah.
And when I seen him on Friday, I said to him, are you still boxing? And he goes, I'm still training, but he's umming and ahhing whether or not he wants to kind of continue and pursue boxing. And then when he's telling me all the stuff, all I was thinking of was, that's what being an adult is. That's what grown-ups do when he's trying to say, I don't know if I can juggle my full-time job and and my training and doing this and doing that. And all I was thinking was, when I was studying and working 2 jobs, I'm pretty sure I was training and trying to find the time to train. But I mean, he's still young. That'll be kind of for him to decide whether or not boxing is really...
Brother, relax, brother. You're not old, brother. What are you talking about?
So, a question for Monty.
Yeah.
Have you ever lost the passion where, you've been training, you're doing all this, and then you've lost your why? Has that ever happened to you?
Trying to think. I've always, even when I wasn't at a boxing gym, and because there was a good amount of years I was on my own. I was born and bred out west, but I lived out south and east for half of my adult life. So, I think it's always been on the back foot. Like, it's there when I need it as an outlet for.
What was your why before your boy?
Before my boy, well, my parents. So yeah, that was my why. Dad forced me to play rugby. I didn't like rugby. Eventually, you learn to, I guess, embrace it, enjoy it. And rugby, I guess, it taught me that team cohesion, So it taught me a different valuable lesson instead of passion for the sport. I would still enjoy playing rugby now. But yeah, my parents have been the main why before my boy. And then when my boy came along, I had, I guess, a bigger why, and it became family. So yeah, I don't really think it's ever left me, even through the injuries over the years. It's, yeah, like I say, family's always been concerned to you should maybe take a break, and I take a break. I just go normal gym, but the competitive fight game, man, I love it. I grow from it. You know, it's you learn more about yourself in competitive fighting. So that's what I found for myself. Yeah, passion's always been there. Yeah.
What about you, Nicey? What's your why? You found that out, G?
That was a good question because I feel like my why changes. It depends. Like my first year was my boys, and then like this year I kind of like I was on edge about boxing again. I kind of I needed something to push me, and then there was just a lot going on. So then I still don't know. I don't have my why, but definitely like my why was my boys. But that why to push you again, it's still coming to me. So
because really, like you were having a break, and then when Superman over there started coming to training, obviously you found your why for that moment. Now you guys are kind of living together. I always say to Lige, a lot of people are going to find different reasons to do, this particular sport. And you can find influences everywhere. To me, if you can't find the why in yourself, find a mentor in somebody else. Somebody that you can look up to in the fight game, whether it be Clarissa Shields. Read up about them. A lot of people think they have to find the why in their own experiences without actually reading the experiences of other fighters. And if you have a look at all the greats, they all studied the ones that were older than them. You look at the ones these days, they look at the ones that were the greats back in those days. So your why doesn't always have to be in your own life. It could be in somebody else's eyes, somebody else's life.
I had a good conversation on Saturday with Lani Daniels.
Yeah.
And just hearing about her journey, she's such an amazing person. And just hearing what she did on her journey and where she got to now, the sacrifices that she had to make, basically. And just hearing her talk about having to adjust to a different lifestyle, going from being a working person to now full-time training as a professional boxer, the transition of what it looked like and what it looks like now. And for her, and I just said to her, when did you notice the difference? And she told me honestly, when I went all in. And I said, what does all in look like? She said, when I dropped everything and totally focused. So she gave her job away and 100% gave it 150% full commitment to where she's gotten to now. And I just was blown away because she said in that time, that's probably one of her biggest growth times is the 100% full commitment for her to get where she is now. And so just really excited to hear, what her next steps are, or looking forward to what her next journey is. But I was saying to her, a lot of fighters, they try and get to the pinnacle of where they are and try and find that one fight that sets them up for life. I think, Monty, would you agree with me on that one there? If you were given the opportunity, would you,
Oh, most definitely. I'll drop everything. And at the same time, it's being that role model, father figure for my son. And, I guess whatever hobby I choose to do, whether it changes, but I will still go wholeheartedly, 100% in that hobby. Yeah, even though I still call it a hobby. Until there's someone that's gonna drop it for me, drop it off on a platter for me to go handies on it, and I'll do it. But right now we keep pushing. My 100% is in the sport, yeah. So morning and night, even during lunch breaks at work, it's just doing footwork drills just to stay a little bit active. And then you know, one thing I've had to try and do is maybe nap half an hour before the last training session of the day, because by the end of the day I'm just drained.
So what does a normal training day look like, or a normal training week look like for you, like as a working full-time parent?
I work full-time, so 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. But then mornings I've been doing my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at Peach, 6 a.m. So that means I'm up by 5. Sometimes earlier if I can get stuff ready to just shower at work. So yeah, I'll do that. I'm up at 5, 6 a.m. training at Peach. Then we'll start work at 8, finish work, pick up my son from school, from after school care, drop him off to his mom's, come home, get ready for 7:30 p.m. class. And if I have enough energy, I'll go to City Fitness and just do some strengthening conditioning work. Then on the weekends I try and stay like active rest, whether it's the stadium doing stairs or just a hike. But yeah, as you get older, you're not as agile, and mobility starts to wear off a bit. The joints start making, and I'm still pushing. But many don't know. I was in hospital in January, and that's where I found out these weird things. I thought was always gout, but it's not gout. But I do have to live with that. So then, they did all my X-rays. They said, "Oh, you got extra bone growing in your joints."
What?
So that extra bone is from the tendons that attach to the joint. So that point where it connects is becoming solid because of the calcium buildup. And I was like, man, so how do I fix this? And they were like, no excessive running or sprinting. And like they said, so if I just stay flat foot and box, is that still good? They said there's a risk if I don't watch it that I could snap a tendon. So I've been cautious and trying to train consistently instead of training like 3 sessions a week and going hard, going handies. It's been more gradual every day, just doing a little bit to
Is this one foot?
Both ankles, knees, and my elbows. So I thought I had gout in my elbows, but like nah, it's just the inflammation in the tendon.
Head, shoulders, knees.
That's what I'm doing, man. Every training. But yeah, it's when I try and train with the elites, it's for me, I'm in that point where it feels a bit unfair that I have to do variations that seem easier. But I am pushing myself in my own way and setting new limitations that no one else has to know. But it's just like, you might think I'm taking the easy way out at training, but I'm doing the necessities outside of the gym,
We are a part of the New Zealand Samoan team. We have a fundraiser on the 17th of May. Come down and support. It's a bit of a Siva night, so door sales are $20.
There'll be cultural stuff. There'll also be food there. Boxer plates, $15.
Oh, my name is Frank Moimoy. Fighting for under 80 kgs. Come to the clubby so you can see me Siva.
My name is Junior Moimoy. Come, please.
Come and support us, and we'll see you down there. Cheers.
Please on the track.
I think going back to kind of Lani, she also has a very smart coach too. Because I was talking to John, and there's been opportunities for her to unify some of the titles.
Yeah.
And John has said like, nope, not enough money, and they've sat on it for a couple of years, patient, and she just trusted him, and then to hear that, she's supposed to be making an announcement.
Yeah, I think she said that there's going to be an announcement next week or this month.
Yeah, and it's something to set her up for life. Which was everything that they were waiting for. So it wasn't one of those things. Oh, let's just give them what they want so we can go fight for the title. It was no. Let's make sure it's worth your while. If they don't give it, we got one of the bouts. We'll just sit on it. Somebody's got to come searching for it.
And a good coach does do that.
Yeah, that's right.
They care about their fighter, and they will do everything that they can in their power to make it best for their fighter.
Yeah, absolutely. I forgot to ask you. Are you hungry?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because normally we get some food and.
No, the old man. I had Sunday kongai and, but I still had to stay within the. There's only one piece of kalo.
So what's your diet looking like now?
So Sunday is normally the cheat day. Obviously because I get to go over and enjoy the luxury of my parents cooking, as well as my siblings. So, but yeah, normal day would be I would have either porridge. My first break is a coffee. I never used to drink coffee, but I've kind of used it as a supplement to help flush me out throughout my day. Then lunchtime, that's when I have my porridge, or if I'm that cheap, it'll just be cereal, cornflakes or Weet-Bix. The last smoker will be just hydration and fruit. Then I'll snack again after work, gym, and then come back home, and my dinner will be eggs on toast. Just trying to keep it simple, but also affordable, because this economy is not the one. It's been hell, but I'm grateful with the lessons life is teaching me. So
Where do you sit on the political side?
I don't care about it. To be honest,
you talk about an economy, and the ones that can control the economy is the political. So if you care about the economy, you've got to have a look at the political.
I guess being in Oz, I think just being in Oz, even though I didn't get to vote in their stuff, but like going from the way living wages are in Oz to here, no wonder why people are leaving New Zealand and going across the ditch. Then coming back here and learning the hard lesson of why people had left, it's really made me.
Are you a 501?
No.
Oh
my God! No, I'm allowed to go back to Australia. I'm no, I'm not a 501.
Oh no.
I met a few.
Yeah.
But they, when I tell them, no, I'm not a 501, I left on my own accord, thank you.
Yeah, you fought one. Yeah, you fought one. How are you on the political stuff?
The same. Not enough knowledge about it just to speak on it.
Yeah. No, that's right. You should grab some, because that one next to you.
Well, I just found out about political stuff when you started talking about.
No, but what about how did, after your fight, like obviously it didn't go the way that you thought it was going to go. After your fight, did you kind of feel like, was there a bug there still, or was that a tick off the bucket list?
My first thought was, gotta train harder, get back in there. Like, this is not the end. but this is just the beginning.
Mm.
You know, it was really good that I got someone like that for my first fight.
Mm.
That set the benchmark for the bottom. It's just up from there, basically. Yeah. So the passion's still there. I'm still keen. I'm looking forward for the first training back and all that stuff.
So you got the bug?
Yeah, you got the bug there.
Basically.
Carry on.
I think you know, it's always good to kind of find those things that can kind of motivate you. 'Cause, you know, it's not an easy sport. You know the saying, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. What about you? You know, in terms of you know, your last sparring, did it give you a little bit of
Oh yeah.
yeah?
I felt good sparring, Soy.
Yeah.
Like just a girl that I could spar finally.
I think that was the feedback from Erin as well, was saying that there's hardly any girls, you know, and that's one of the hardest things as a female boxer, is being motivated all the time to keep training and stuff like that. So,
and she said she loves you.
Shut up.
No, that's what she did.
Shut up.
Is that what she said?
Shut up.
Yes, that's what she said to us.
Shame?
Yo.
Nah, actually, she said
Did
your
she
uncle.
say that?
Nah, she said
Did she
your
watch
uncle.
this podcast?
She said,
she was there at the sparring.
Oh, Erin, I love you.
Yeah, because she said
nah, I take it back.
No.
Sorry, it wasn't Erin, it was Junior.
Yeah, because I just recently followed her and then I like stalked all her videos.
You see what I mean there?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. She's made me blush.
Yeah.
so you got competition.
I got competition. I have to get in the ring with her.
Don't take you to the club with me. Did you hear about the story of how those two?
No, wait, Monty, you came to be a part of our decoration.
No comments.
Nah, well, how the story goes. Oh, good, sir.
Oh, you want me to explain?
Live explanation.
Live explanation. So you have had experience as a security guard, eh? So how we met was have you heard of a club named Kong?
Yep.
Have you
Never been.
Never been. Just stood outside, eh? But
I'm just an Uber driver.
Yeah, so I just went like, it was my birthday. I went out to a club. Some random girl came, pulled me aside, and started pashing me. That was it. Started pashing me, singing happy birthday.
I've seen that podcast.
Try to alter the story there a bit. So good, Kish just got me. He can.
Do I believe? No comment.
But yeah,
Raj, do you believe him?
I fully believe it because I've seen that.
seen a lot of things there.
If you were listening, I seen that happen. I never said I seen you. I said I've seen that happen.
Just in case you missed him.
And then he gets to tell, what did he mean by that?
Silent drive home, man. I'll drive back out west. I see you walking.
He's actually, No. Do you play rugby for club out west?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Nah.
No, because she said that she
Oh, Waiheke?
was it Waiheke? No. You went to go watch one of his rugby games and you was playing
he
out
was
west.
I was
Messi.
against
Oh.
Messi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you play for?
Waiheke.
Oh, this Waiheke.
Yeah.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where are they sitting on the table?
Division 2, the first game of the season.
Oh, okay.
And we just won against Messi.
Oh.
Yeah, 50-10.
Where were you guys last year?
We lost in the semis to Uruhu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Semis.
Yeah.
You know I can check this up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but just the whole format now for rugby is just unfair for the teams that are under, because they got Prims playing grade 3, grade 2 now.
Wow.
Yeah. Or mixed in that. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Is that because like some teams
Because
can't
the teams
produce
are
prims?
Yeah.
Some
And-
clubs can't produce
yeah,
prims.
can't
eh?
produce. And the prims are like, some teams are getting pumped, and some teams in the grade under are just staying there because they're dominating the other teams.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make it fair for everyone.
Because one of the stipulations for every club is they must produce a prim team, and then you can do your reserves,
Reserves
senior,
and
first, semi-seconds, blah blah blah. What do you mean? Oh, you already know that too.
But I mean, like for league, I know that for league. I didn't realize it was like that for rugby as well. So our teams like Grammatic and Auckland,
playing teams like that. Yeah.
College Rifles, all
College
just-
Rifles. Yeah.
Hey, what do you guys think of that run it straight?
Oh,
It's better than power slap.
Yeah.
I mean, if they, if with the right context, if they takes off and Dana White sees it, man,
yeah.
good on him,
Oh,
But
that's right.
It's definitely better than power slap, because now you got to look up for the shoulder and elbows.
That's
Yeah. And I think just you have two groups right now fighting for the ownership of Run It Straight. You got Run It by Afosa Solomono.
Oh
Yeah. And then you got the Run It Straight by, I think they were the original.
Yeah.
But the truth is, they ain't actually the original, eh?
Oh, gee.
Nah, it was done by.
There is some debate around it all, yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing Run It Straight by what's that? That New Zealand TikTok Māori fella, and he used to sit there and tell us stories, and he'll fold his arms and he'll say, I remember back in the kayak, and he'll start talking Māori, and my grandfather, blah blah blah. He's a fair looking Māori fella. They done a Run It Straight like ages ago, a New Zealand version.
Yeah.
And then somebody picked it up, and decided, oh, this will be pretty cool. And it was I think at that time it was the influencers that were doing it. It was like him, and I think it was Johnny Tuivasa shit and all those boys.
Yeah.
So but you're right. I think it'd be something way more better to invest in than the slap.
Yeah.
Plus people get to keep their brain cells.
Just a little bit of them.
A little bit.
Because there've been some pretty good run-ups. So,
Yeah.
On a relationship side of things, you single now?
Yeah, always been single.
Oh, right. Sure. Not thinking of settling down anytime soon, or?
I thought about it, but I guess time management. Like I don't have. I guess I don't have the effort to give a relationship.
Yeah.
The only relationship I can give my full attention and all that is my son. So it'll be nice. But if I have to wait till he's 18 to find someone again, I'll keep waiting. I'll keep waiting.
Yeah. No, that's right. On your experience of relationships, what do you think? Let's pretend for a minute that there's somebody in this crew that's single. Out of these three, and they could be looking for love, but there's no rush. But what would your what would your what's the word I'm looking for?
Advice.
Wisdom, to guide them along the right stretch of not finding someone that's a psycho,
High maintenance.
or, but at the end of the day, I don't know, they could do it too. But what's your advice for anyone out there that's single or in here? Single, But to be honest, when we first started, like somebody over there was single until they decided to go and jump on somebody in the club.
Oh, I don't know. I guess with my history, it would be just don't rush and get to know the other individual on a deeper connection, and don't let lust take over. Yeah.
What do you mean by deeper?
Like I guess a person's background, their upbringing.
Excuse me, 24-year-old.
I'm not perfect in the relationship game, but for me, I know, I think I know my worth. My worth. If it doesn't match hers, then I'm not going to put the effort forward, because it's it will become more draining.
Yeah.
Now being just a co-parenting dad, it's if I start talking to someone and we connect, but if they're asking for too much time that I need to give to my boy, it just doesn't, it won't click.
Yeah.
And so I'll have to, obviously I'd be like, oh, it's all good if we hang out, but I can't commit to that. I gotta commit to my son first. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like, get to know the person on a deeper level where they can understand you as a father who needs to be there for his son full time. And if they're okay with that, cool. But if they're not okay with it, then you'll see it in the, I guess the red flags that will pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you see any red flags?
I think that night I made another.
That's alright.
Oh, no comments again.
Alright, so you got Samoa coming up, got a lot of big boys. Australia's been through some big boys as well, so it's going to be a great competition.
Yeah.
I know American Stars bringing some. Western's got some, but they're probably not. The favourites will be the Oz boys, and our boys. So
But I think with David Tour and being over there, I think that maybe there might be some hidden talent that might be coming out. Maybe.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know, to be honest. It probably depends on how much he's getting involved with him. I know that Tapu was over there too. Opataya, he was training him and Jai were over there training them. I think and David Tour was over there training. So that's a wealth of knowledge in itself.
It's great. It's great for
Samoa. Yeah. And Jai also donated almost everything they need in terms of equipment.
So good to hear.
Yeah, he's giving back to the country big time. You're going back. Got a lot of these competitors coming up, and how are you feeling about what you're doing and the upcoming? Are you going to Golden Gloves as well?
No. Yeah. Just focus on the Samoa.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about
I guess with the current losses, it's those were good losses for me because it's taught me what to refine, and there's always going to be refinement in your boxing abilities, your boxing IQ. You know, it's yeah. So I've learned a lot, but now it's been putting it all into action and fixing the little mistakes, like not working a shift before fight night and stuff like that. You know, it's I need to take into like taking a lot more stuff into consideration for my preparation. So obviously with my joints, I gotta, I guess, limit the time that I'm doing hill sprints or stairs, and but also time management with recovery and resting and getting the right amount of sleep in, because yeah, it has been difficult to sleep because like adrenaline's still high after late night training, and then you get home, you gotta try and sleep within that time frame, you gotta get up again. So yeah, but we're getting there, you know. 8 weeks left to prepare, so
yeah. You know, with your, how many fights have you had across your career?
17 now, all up. Yeah, 17 all up over since I was 17.
Yeah.
But I sort of was like a, back then it was like train a year, fight 1 year sort of thing that I was doing, and then since I've been back, I've just been gunning, like trying to be a bit more active. Now that my boy's a bit older, I can actually pursue it a bit more, give a little bit more effort into it. And my older brother was like, you know, you'll do well in boxing if you just put 100% into it now. And now that your boy's older, it's a little bit easier to take him here and there and still be a father and have father and son time. But yeah, training first and then we hang out after.
So just on that, let's say, I don't know, let's say your son, for instance, you know, he's your age, you know, your body type, same injuries and everything, and he was just as passionate about boxing as you were, and you couldn't stop him. He decided he wanted to carry on fighting until he was 40.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously you have to, obviously you have to coach him. If you were to coach him, what would you tell him? What would you tell him is the best way for him to get through competitive fights? And he was, you know, looking to go international as well. What was the best training strategy for you?
Mine will be Mayweather. Hit and don't get hit. Which is, yeah, that's what I am trying to achieve a bit more in training. It's not always easy because I do find myself just being static and I'll stand there and throw hands. But it's, you know, with that in mind, that's what I've taken on for myself. So it'll be the same for me drilling it into him, as, you know, work on your technical skill and your abilities first, and then when the shot provides itself, land it then. You miss, you carry on trying to find that opening and go again. Yeah, so I think now for me it's like I gotta be wary of the headshots. I haven't been, you know, I haven't had any that have made me really had to think about concussions and all that. But I guess smarter now. Now that I'm older, I'm smarter and knowing that I'm not gonna be, you know, Superman every time I'm in the ring and take a shot. You know, if I feel it hits me quite, I guess lately I haven't had any of those shots where I have to be careful, but it doesn't stop me from having to think and be careful of it, because any lucky shot could be enough to just shut you off. But yeah, that's probably what I'll still tell him, like I tell myself now, is to be careful. Concussions are no joke.
Yeah, that's right.
100%.
Yeah. Lige, you've had over 30 fights. If you were coaching Monty, what would your advice? How would you?
I'd probably play to Monty's body type, and that'll kind of be for yeah, probably for anyone that I'm coaching, so if I can see that you've got footwork, your punches are good, you're fit, then I'll tell you to keep using your jab, using your footwork to get into trouble, but also making sure that you're able to kind of get out of trouble, slip, add your feints and tire them out. If I was coaching someone like Monty, then I'd know fitness kind of wouldn't be up there, but I'd use that. I'd use it for us. Get him to cut off the ring. Using feints to set up their right hand. Monty's got a lethal left hook that he can use. So using the jab to set that up. Adding some feints and doing the David Tour flying left hook to set up that right hand. But yeah, when you can see that he's tired or something, rather than cut off, follow them. You can see that Monty's got his breath, got his energy back, that he's ready to go. We change it to cutting off the ring. Yeah.
My God, see, that's why I said to you, be a coach.
I will be a coach, just currently not at the moment.
Yeah. All right, then let me ask the same thing. You looked at him, right? You saw how he fought.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to him to get better, and a good strategy for him?
Work on his defense.
Pull the mic towards him.
Work on your defense.
Yeah.
Feel like your feelings. Don't push them aside.
Feel what?
Like feel like his feelings, like what he's going through and stuff. Like just the
nervousness in that.
Yeah.
Oh.
The lead up to his fight.
Yeah.
I think focus on because how you wanted to do the Philly show and you weren't confident in using it. Use stuff that you're confident in using when you're in the ring. Not something that you're like on edge on because it won't go through. Yeah.
All right. The same thing to you for her.
For her. So for her, it's always been her fitness. So just more like preserving her energy and just like using more of your jabs instead of you like trying to dominate them in the first round. Try and spread it out to all 3 rounds. Play the long game, to be honest. And that way, when it comes to the later stage of the round, that's when you'll be like dominating. And that's when they'll be like barely in the fight.
Nice. Okay, and the last one is Monty, from you to him. What would your advice be to Lodge?
Well, after watching the Friday fight, I think for me it would be to utilize his size and let him tire out. He eventually got there, but it will be you've seen a unit having to use more oxygen to breathe and for the muscles to function. You're sharper to you're like before him. You could get your shots in before him, and the movement was good too. He would just rush forward. All you had to do was step aside, let him come, and then catch him.
Good. You know, that's good. It's good advice. You know, not just raising fighters, raising leaders.
But I mean, it's always good to hear others, you know. And I tend to do that sometimes after the fights. People that were there, even if they're not from our gym, I say, "Oh, what did you see?" You know, because what I saw could be different to what you saw compared to what the ref saw. And that always, you know, it's no harm in asking randoms.
And I think that's great because that shows you how teachable that you are, how open you know, to criticism that you are, and that's what builds you as a better fighter. Not saying any Joe Blogs, but people that you know have got the experience to be able to give an honest opinion. So I think that's great, and that's good advice to any of the others.
I agree. Well, you know, it was a good night. Well, I think we kind of come to the end. Thank you, Monty, for coming on.
Yeah,
thanks
thank
for
you,
having
Monty.
Yeah, we enjoyed everything that you had to say, and yeah, we'll let you have the last say, and then tell people what to expect when you get.
Let's go, Team Samoa!
Awesome, bro. Thank you.
They asked for slow jams, followed with some slow dance, a bit of grooving with a bit of romance. Pretty lady in the spot. They asked for slow jams, lady song, followed by some slow dance. You are my prize in this day. I'm looking at a while. A bit of grooving with a bit of romance. Pretty lady in the spot. They asked for slow jams, lady song, followed by some slow dance. You are my prize in this day. I'm looking at a while. A bit of smooth and my words are tight. I say, pretty lady in the spot. They asked for slow jams, lady song, followed by some slow dance. You are my prize in this day. I'm looking at a while. A bit of grooving with a bit of romance. Pretty lady in the spot. They asked for slow jams, lady song, followed by some slow dance. You are my prize in this day. I'm looking at a while. A bit of grooving with a bit of